After learning how fast you currently read, you're probably going to want to know what the average reading speed is. The average person reads 150 to 250 words per minute. Now there's a few things you should know about this average. This average is based on average level reading material. So if you were reading something really technical, you would probably be reading it a little more carefully. Your speed would be a little lower. Now if you were reading something that was really easy, let's say it was Dr. Seuss, The Cat in the Hat, your reading speed would probably be a little higher. So you may read easy material at, let's say, 300 words a minute, and you may read really hard material at 100 words a minute. The goal of these webinars is to improve your entire reading range, not just one reading speed. Now another thing on this average reading speed of 150 to 250 words a minute that you should know is it's based on 1 minute of reading. Whenever they do these tests, they find that the average person reads 150 to 250 on 1 minute of reading. Now, I doubt that you read in 1 minute spurts. Most people read for an extended period of time. Maybe you're reading an article for 5 minutes, or maybe you're reading a textbook chapter for 30 minutes. But this average is based on 1 minute of reading. What do you think happens when you increase the amount of time that you have to read? Now, for most people, the reading speed falls over this time period. Why? Because fatigue sets in. When you read for a longer period of time, sometimes you go back to reread material. So the average reading speed is a little lower than this when taking into account realistic reading conditions. Now here's another interesting thing on these reading averages. 30 years ago, the average reading speed was actually 250 to 350. So this is a little bit of a problem that in the past few decades, the average reading speed has actually fallen. Now, the goal of this webinar is not to examine why that's happened. I'm sure you can come up with some reasons of your own, but the averages have fallen. Another thing that they find interesting in reading research is after the age of 12, most people don't make an improvement in their reading speed. Now, this may sound a little odd, but they do find that up until the age of 12, you're making little by little improvements in your reading speed. And usually around the age of 12, people kind of plateau in their reading speed. They don't go much faster after that. And you would think the more books you read throughout your lifetime, the faster you would get. And that's just simply not the case. And we'll talk about why that is in a little bit. But this average of 150 to 250 words a minute is not an average that we want to stay in for the rest of our lives. Now if you're at 150 words a minute or lower, you're considered a little below average. And if you're at 250 words per minute or higher in average level material, that's considered a little above average. Now regardless of where you are in this range of 150 to 250 words a minute, it's still possible to make improvements.